So in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to edit faster on a controller. Even if you're a beginner, after listening to these tips and tricks, you're going to be editing 10 times faster on a controller. And I'm not lying when I say that, you'll be looking like this. Yeah, so I told you I wasn't lying. Throughout this video, I'll be showing you guys the best sensitivity to use, Fortnite maps to help you improve, and also even how to play claw. Now let's get into step 1 to help you guys become the best controller editor. Now step 1 isn't super easy. This requires literally like almost no work, but you just have to listen up. In order to edit fast and also be consistent, you're gonna have to find a good sensitivity. So let's go look into that real quick. If we go into my input right here and we scroll all the way down, all of these settings are my sensitivity for my controller. Now recently I actually did lower my build mode and also my edit mode, and this is so I could be a lot more consistent with my edits and it's not as fast. By not as fast, I mean being able to actually control my sensitivity. My build mode is set to 1.9 and also my edit mode is set to 1.9. Now this is one of the most important settings for me on controller, and this is your look vertical speed and also your look horizontal speed. Your look horizontal is how you rotate left and right, and your look vertical is how you rotate up and down. And just like my build and edit mode, these are both the same, and I have my horizontal set to 39% and also my vertical set to 39%. Make sure you have all of these boosts also turned off. Now your aim down signs are as important as the other settings, but I have both of these set to 10% as you can see here, and also make sure you have all of these boosts turned off. This is where it gets really important, and this is your look input curve and also your dead zone. But first, let's start off with your look input curve. Now as you can see here, instead of playing exponential, I actually play linear, and that's because linear allows me to have more raw stuck input. Basically what that means is I have more control over my joysticks. And unlike exponential, you can have smaller stick movements, which makes it so much harder to move both your joysticks and also to move around when you're editing. And I would 100% recommend switching to linear if you haven't already. Now that you have your look input curve solved, your left stick dead zone and also your right stick dead zone are also a huge factor in editing. You want to make sure you don't have these dead zones set to the lowest because that could cause some stick drift. But also you don't want to set too high because then that would make it so hard for you to move both of your joysticks. Now my dead zone right here is set to 7.7, and I've seen a lot of other controller pros with this as well, so if you guys haven't set it to 7%, I would give it a try. Okay, now that we finished the easy part, let's get into step 2, which is actually showing you guys how to practice editing. So this is the creative map that you're going to be using to practice your edits, and there's one reason why. As you can see here, there are a bunch of different modes going from slow motion to a higher speed, and obviously if you go to slow motion, everything is a lot slower and you're able to practice your edits more consistently and actually be able to get them down. As you can see here, I'm on 0.5 mode, and if I want to do a triple edit, I'm able to do it so easily. I can do also a bunch of double edits, and being on slow motion not only helps your edit speed but also your crosshair placement. And crosshair placement is so important, especially when you're editing, because you need to edit the right tiles at the most efficient and effective way. For example, for your crosshair placement, you can make your edits so much quicker. As you can see here, instead of doing this long triple edit and dragging it all the way out, you can minimize your edit and be more effective by only selecting these tiles. Also, not only is it so much easier, but it makes everything quicker. Being in the slow motion, it makes everything so much faster and easier to learn, and whenever I go back to the normal speed, I hit all these edits like nothing. I've noticed that my edit speed has probably doubled or maybe even tripled just by using this. Now Fortnite creative maps are some of the most effective ways to practice your editing, and this Raiders Impossible edit course map is a 10 out of 10. The reason I say it's a 10 out of 10 because once you load in, look at all these different edit courses that you can use. One thing about this map is it has helped me so much because I've changed my settings and it has allowed me to master my controller binds. Some of these also consist of a reset and also editing, and some of them are just regular where you can edit. Regardless, this edit map is a win-win, and I know you can see all these edit courses and they seem so intimidating because they look hard, but as you can see here, there are also a bunch of easy ones like double edits and even triple edits. The variety this map has is literally endless, so you can always practice so many different aspects of editing. And the only way you can actually get better is practicing over and over and over. I guarantee you, if you sit in this map for like an hour or 2 hours, you'll see the improvement instantly. Consistency is literally the key in order to become better. Also, don't rush into these edit courses. It's okay if you want to go a little slower. You don't always have to go fast doing these edit courses. Literally just practice at your own pace and own speed, and you'll see the results are going to be so insane after an hour or two. Now, creative is is obviously a good way to help you practice, but you also are going to need good controller binds and also the correct way to hold your controller. Your controller binds and also the way you play are literally going to be the biggest factor in improving. For step 3, let's get into how to hold your controller correctly and how I actually play claw and paddles combined. As you can see here, this is my Scuff Pro Reflex controller, and not only do I play claw on this, but also I use a paddle. But wait, before I teach you guys how to play claw, let me tell you why it's important. As you can see by the controller cam, it allows me to have faster access to all of my face buttons, so like my triangle, square, and also my D-pad, without taking my thumbs off the analog sticks. And for claw, it's so important for FPS games just like Fortnite because you're always constantly moving and aiming. So for the slightest second that you take your thumbs off your joystick, it can drastically affect your gameplay. But now let's teach you guys how to actually play claw and how to correctly hold your controller. So to start off, let's get started with these back triggers. And as you can see here, this is your L2, this is your R2, this is your L1, and this is your R1. So basically what I have to do is I'm going to start with these back triggers, and my right pointer finger right here rests right on R2 and my left pointer finger rests right on L2. Now that we got finished with that, let's get started with L1 and also R1. For these triggers, you're actually going to want to use your pointer fingers, and as you can see here, my right pointer finger rests right on R1 and my left pointer finger rests right on L1. And that's all you have to do for these top triggers in order to play claw. But that's not where it stops. The next step is being able to use your pointer fingers to click on all of these face buttons right here, your D-pad and also your triangle, square, circle, and also X. So let's say that you wanted to play right hand claw. All you have to do for right hand claw is have your right pointer finger click on any of these face buttons, and since my switch mode is triangle, which is this button right here, I take my right pointer finger off of R1 and go to triangle just like this. And if you guys wanted to play left hand claw, you take your left pointer finger off of L1, and let's say my pickaxe is right D-pad, all I have to do is take my finger back and forth just like this. If you play on non-claw, trust me, all of the control pros like Day, Mero, all of them literally play claw, so it's so important to make that switch. I know a bunch of people who actually play non-claw and it holds them back so much because they're always constantly having to take their thumbs off of the analog sticks. One thing that you notice in a bunch of non-claw players is they're also super stiff, which means they aren't able to make good edits because they don't obviously have good movement on their joysticks. And like a claw player, you have control of every single button, and also you have the perfect movement while holding your controller. Now obviously to edit fast, you're going to want to go into your settings and have correct edit control binds. And as you can see here, I have a 2 edit binds, which means that I have a different confirm and also a different edit build. If you have the same edit build and also confirm, that means you're on 1 edit bind, and that slows you down so much. Being on a double edit bind is so much quicker because you have to click 2 different buttons, which makes it a lot faster to edit and confirm. Because for 1 edit bind, if you have it set to the same thing, there's a bigger delay. So to edit faster, just make sure that you're on 2 different edit binds because it'll help you out so much in the long run. Now that I've said everything that you need to know in order to edit faster, make sure you guys drop a like. Don't forget to also comment if you guys play claw, non-claw, or paddles because I want to help you guys so much in each video that I make. If there's any tutorial that you guys want, make sure you comment it down below. And to know who my real ones are, make sure you guys comment down below PS5 so I can see who made it all the way to the end. All the map codes will be linked down below, but don't forget to use my supporter creator code Dropz in the Fortnite item shop.